Masakadza has resigned from his role as Zimbabwe Cricket's Director of Cricket. He cited Zimbabwe's failure to qualify for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 as the main reason for his decision to step down. The former Zimbabwe captain was appointed to the Director of Cricket role in 2019. The highlight of his tenure being the Chevron's qualification for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2022 in Australia, where the Chevrons there reached the Super 12 stage against all odds. Under his guidance, Zimbabwe Cricket introduced several new tournaments aimed at living the standard of the game. We had the National Premier League among them, as well the Zimbabwe T10 League, as well as two provincial women's competitions, the 50-50 Challenge and the Women's T20 Cup. However, it is Zimbabwe's failure to qualify for the World Cup, the T20 World Cup, that has forced him to resign, although it is likely that he will stay with Zimbabwe Cricket in some other capacity. So we do know that I think sometime at the beginning of February, the Zimbabwe Cricket Board sat down and decided to institute wholesale changes to the technical setup within Zimbabwe Cricket. I think Dave Houghton's departure and reassignment also was one of the most notable ones. They've since put on vacancies for the head coach, Job. I understand the bowling coach, Steve Kirby, could also be on his way out. So Masakadza, he looked to have survived the purge, if we can call it that, but opting to fall on his sword and say that, you know, because of the country's failure to make it to West Indies and the USA later this year, he's going to resign. But so, I understand as well.
So he decided.
Yeah,
he wasn't kind of like nudged and. So he just said, look, I haven't performed, I'm out.
I think, given the timing, I would suspect maybe there was some behind-the-scenes pressure that made him probably go like, you know what, it's in everybody's best interests. But I remember when he did come in and we had that one-on-one with him in the build-up to the domestic T20 competition, I had a conversation with him afterwards, just asking him, and at that point, there was no indication that he was going to resign. I think the fact that he's probably been offered something else within the organization probably made it easier for him.
But I tell you what a nice bloke. And when he wears cricket on his sleeve, man, you know what I'm saying?
Very passionate.
He loves it. Yeah.
And I think even just this decision to call it quits from the Director of Cricket was becoming a bit toxic, especially with some of his biggest critics. You know, issues around his brother's performance were now being attached to him.
Oh,
and
no,
then
man.
everything that was going wrong was being put right at his doorstep. So I think he realized maybe the situation was becoming a bit untenable and opted to resign. But I'm sure he can still contribute to the game in Zimbabwe in a different capacity.
Konapo, Ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.